Welcome to Powerful Couple Journey, where we talk about immigration processes. And for today's video, we're going to discuss how to become a teacher here in the US, whether you would like to have an H-1B or a J1 visa. So let me have all the papers that I have here. I prepared some of the notes and hoping you will follow, especially those that are from the Philippines. I know some of you are watching. Thank you for being here. And this is my way of sharing my ideas to you as a J1 teacher prior here in Central Florida, now a green card holder. So if you wish to become a teacher here, this is the right video for you. Stick around and I'm going to show you the step-by-step process on how to do it DIY. That way, you don't have to spend a lot of money, just like what I did way back 2019. So, how to apply as an international teacher in the US, do it yourself process. The first thing you have to do is this: you have to ask yourself, how am I eligible to work as a teacher here in the US? So, aspiring teachers like you must, number one, be proficient in English language. It's not a problem when it comes to Filipino teachers because we already have experience in speaking in English, so you already get a great chance. Number two, hold a minimum equivalent of a US bachelor's degree in education or academic subject in which they plan to teach. Like, for example, when I was in the Philippines, I am an elementary teacher. I finished bachelor's in elementary education and I have my TOR or transcript of records. So you have to use those and finish your bachelor's degree, and you have to pass the licensure examination for teachers, or they call it LET. So LET passer. Number three, be pursuing to enter in the US for the sole purpose of teaching full time at a secondary or primary accredited school. Like, for example, I, as a teacher from the Philippines, if you are an elementary teacher, you can teach elementary. If you are a SPED teacher, much better because SPED is in demand here in the US, and that way you can have more money than the regular elementary teacher or a high school teacher or a middle school teacher. So, and it's also a plus if you have your master's degree. So, pursue most especially the SPED. So, that is very good. Hello there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and watching live. The other thing you have to do is meet the qualifications for teaching in the US where you are intending to teach. Like, for example, you wanted to teach here in Florida. So, meet their qualifications. What I like about here in Florida is this: you will have the chance to teach here temporarily for 3 years to 5 years. So, if you choose as a J1 teacher, it's okay for you not to take the um, examination here, and you can still work and have the same salary as a regular teacher that is entry level. But if you wanted to go somewhere like any other states like Chicago, you can also teach there temporarily, but you have to take their exams. Then you're going to be certified there, and they have also good pay when it comes to teaching. So there are 50 states in the United States of America. You can choose wherever you want, but choose that as a low cost or low, what they call this one, uh, payment when it comes to the rent, good transportation. Find those locations, and of course, find Filipino groups, because if you're gonna be all alone in a certain area, it feels like you are nowhere. And don't think that America is a place where you can see lots of skyscrapers. No, there's also places here in America that are like in the Philippines, mountain areas. So make sure you know the demographics, you know the location which you wanted to teach. And yes, for our teachers, you can also teach here just make sure you have your credentials, and I'm gonna show you where you're gonna have to get the one. So if you have pen and a paper, jot down notes, and I can give it to you, or you can send me your email, and if you wish to get the copy of this, I will freely give you the step-by-step process. That way, I can share to you the ideas. As a J1 teacher, this is my way of giving to you the ideas I have here. Then, um, step two, okay, prepare for this one. What are the necessary requirements to teach in the US? Opportunities for Nigerians? Yes. There are from India, yes, you can come here too, as long as you're a teacher teaching, and prepare for this one. Okay, FCE. FCE stands for Foreign Credential Evaluation. So you can go to NACES, that is a national accredited. Let me see this one here. That way I'm saying the right words. The National Association of Credential Evaluation Services. So go to this website and type that one. You can find resources on how to evaluate your TOR or transcript of records. When I was doing this process, I had the agency and I paid the agency for this. If I only knew in the year 2019, or no, I processed in the year 2018 to 2019. If I only knew that this is easy and you don't have to spend a lot of money, I should have done this, because it should have saved me tons and tons of money. But I'm already here in America, so I don't have any complaints. Now it's my time to share. So this is one way, the NACES, for you to have your foreign credential evaluation, which is your transcript of records. You have to send your transcript of records here. Do you need to pay? Yes, it's going to be amounting to dollars. I'm not sure how much, but just prepare. I believe it's like $120 to $250, between those range. And you have to, of course, have the exchange rate depending on which country you are. Then you can also go for the foreign credential evaluation in Spantran. So this is one of the foreign credential evaluation that most J1 teachers and H1B teachers that are aspiring to become a teacher here, they use this one, because they said you can get it right away, and they have a very good rate when it comes to paying their foreign credential evaluation. So again, Spantran. Just go to this website, and it is available for you to see and explore. It needs to be you. It needs to be where you have to learn all the clicks and learn all the details. Okay, I'm just telling you where you have to go. This is not going to be spoon feeding. You have to do it yourself if you wanted to do it DIY. The other one too is WES. They call it WES. So this is another foreign credential evaluation for your TOR. You can use this one if you wanted to. And you can take a screenshot if you would like. You could have, if you wanted me to, oh, look at that. My printer is printing. If you would like to see how this is done, I can send you the information through your email. Let me know. So those are the links that you have to submit. Now, how many days, weeks, or months have to prepare and get the evaluation? Most probably in a month. So make sure you know where to submit. And by the way, here in the United States of America, starting of school is most probably in August and September. So if you would like to process your papers, start your processing by January, okay? Because they have like teachers that are already processing their papers. But if you would like to start now in October, you can. When I had my papers, I processed it in September 2018, but then they said, the agency that I have said they already have my name on the queue, which means I already am part of the agency. But it's very expensive. I don't want to mention the agency because they're very good, okay? But then they're very expensive. So this is my way of sharing to you the DIY process. Then, once you've gathered all your requirements, you may start applying for school directly. Again, you can start now or start December or January because the first day of school is most probably in August, end of August, and first week of September. It depends on the state. So here in Florida, we start like mid-week or month of August, or like let's just say August 15, August 20th. That's most of the time. But in other states, they start early, just like Arizona, Utah, Colorado, they start early. So think of the places that you wanted to have, think of the state that you wanted to go. Now, if you are ready, we're going to go to the next one. So prepare, always prepare, okay? Prepare your resume, cover letters, reference letters, evaluated TOR or transcript of records with your foreign credential evaluation. Now, when it comes to your resume in code, you can print it or you can scan it, but most of the time they just wanted to email directly. So have a soft copy or electronic copy of your resume, cover letter, reference letter. If you ask me about resume, I don't have any resumes anymore in my computer. What you can do is search online or go to different like Facebook groups because they can share resumes if you would really feel that the resume is lucky or that resume is so blessed that you can really get the job, then go ahead. And also make sure you always put in your mind, I am prepared emotionally and I will get the job offer. Job offer. Repeat after me. Job offer. J-O. That's what you wanted to have. Job offer. So again, prepare your resume, cover letter, reference letter, evaluated TOR or transcript of records. Then you may want to email directly to the school districts or you may want to go to job sites. What are the job sites? Okay. The job sites that you can go is ED Join. You can take a screenshot or pause. And these are just one of the links, job sites that you can go. You could also have this one. A lot of teachers wanted to go to this place, even though it's so cold, because they pay big buko. Alaska teachers. So if you have that, go to this website and Alaska teachers. This is where they wanted to have their job sites. I even have one co-teacher. Let's just say she. She is there and working already, and she's loving it, even though it's so cold. But the pay is great compared here in Florida. Florida is a very expensive state. Depending on which county you are, if you are in the south, it's gonna be big bucks, big amount of money. If you are in Central Florida, just like what we are, very low. In Upper Florida, yes, it could be higher, but it depends on the state. Most of the J1 teachers I know of, and they have a lot of teachers there, is in Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. There's plenty of teachers there. Another job site that you can go is K-12 job spots. So you can go there, k12jobspot.com, and you could try doing the research when it comes to job sites. Then you can also go to Glassdoor, Indeed. You can go to Zip Recruiter, LinkedIn, plenty of places to go. The other one is Search for schools and apply on your time. You have to be diligent in applying. School website and register in their website. Okay, listen to this. There are offers for J1 visa. Okay, there are offers. Choose if you would like to have J1 visa or H1B visa. Now, let me tell you the difference. Based on my experience and based on what I know, I'm already here more than 5 years in the US, so I can really vouch myself. As a J1 teacher, in the year 2019, I had the J1 visa with 212E rule. Now, what is the perks of being a J1 visa holder? As a J1, you can teach here for 5 years. In your visa, it's going to be 3 years. If your visa sponsor can extend you, it's going to be additional 2 years. So it's going to be 5 years. In the first 2 years, as a J1 holder, they are going to return all your tax, state tax, and federal tax to you, which means if they're going to get the taxes from, let's just say, August till June, you can get the remaining of the money right after you file your tax return. So let's just say your job offer is $50,000 a year. If they take 10,000 out of that for your state tax and for your income tax or federal tax, they can return that to you after you file for your tax return, and most probably you'll get it by after 4 months. So if you file your tax return, they're going to return it to you after 4 months. Let's just say you file in February, March, April, May, June. You can have your money in June. That's why a lot of teachers from the Philippines, they go home after a year because they have plenty of money to spend. Because it's like a lump sum. They're going to get $10,000 back to them. Those are for 2 years. But after 2 years, because it's a treaty, you will have on the third, fourth, and fifth year, they will get that tax to you and they will not return it. That's why most of the J1 teachers are so happy to return to the Philippines in the first year and second year. In the third, fourth, and fifth year, they are keeping their money. That way they could have something when they go back to the Philippines. With the J1, you can also bring your J2. If you are married to your Filipino spouse or anybody in your country, you can bring your J1, I mean your J2 kids. You can bring them, but not your parents. Just the immediate relative, your legal husband or legal wife, your kids that is of course has birth certificate that you are the birth mom or you're the birth dad, you can bring them. So those are the perks. And the only problem, especially if you're a teacher from the Philippines, J1 visa has a 212E rule, 2-year home residency requirement. Even though, let's just say, you got pregnant here and you have a US citizen child, you still have to go back to the Philippines. Not unless you get a waiver, which we're going to talk about the waiver because I got my waiver through do-it-yourself process. Stick around at the end of this video because I'm going to let you know the process. Now, let's go to the H1B visa. And a lot of teachers from the Philippines are aiming to have an H1B visa. Why? The H1B visa is a dual intent. Dual means number one, you're going to get a work permit. You're going to work here as many years as you want, but most probably it's only like in 3 years or 5 years. Second, your employer can apply for you to get a green card. That's why H1B, even though this is very long process compared to J1, but it's all worth it. When it comes to H1B, you don't have to pay a lot. your school district or your employer is going to hire a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, to process all the papers, you just have to follow the step-by-step process. I cannot vouch on H1B because I'm not an H1B teacher, but I'm telling you, a lot of H1B visa holders, they like it because it's a dual intent. As long as they're still teaching, they can become a green card holder. Now, the only downside of H1B is if your employer will say, no, I don't want you to teach here anymore, then they can send you back to the Philippines. But I don't think so. We Filipinos are very resilient and we wanted to pursue our career here in the US. So I know you can do it. The other downside of H1B is this one. You can bring your spouse H4, but they cannot work here. They will not get a work permit yet, not unless you're going to get your green card. So you are going to be working alone. You bring your wife here, your spouse here, or your children. It's going to be very expensive. Not unless your H1 or your H4 visa holder will work as under the table, which is not good. We're not going to advise you to do under the table because if they're going to be caught and somebody will tell, they might jeopardize your H1B visa, and we don't want that to happen. So there are already processes on how your H4 can work. You just have to do legal advice. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so that's why I can't advise. So if I were to weigh which one, okay, I'd like J1 visa, especially if you're single. I came here single. I got married to my US citizen spouse. I was able to prove that there is a hardship. That's why I got my J1 waiver, and now I'm a green card holder. But if you have your spouse already in the Philippines, please don't get divorced. There's a lot of J1 teachers, I'm telling you. There's a lot of J1 teachers that ask a divorce for their husbands in the Philippines just to have somebody get married here and hoping they're gonna get the green card, but that's not a good way, okay? So I'm not happy knowing a lot of my J1 teacher friends in J1 WAIVER Helping Hands group is talking about that. So it is their choice. I'm just here to deliver my ideas to you. It's really up to you. But again, if you have family in the Philippines already, go for H1B. So what are the other steps? Okay. Like for example, if you say, you know what, Emmary, I'm gonna go with J1 visa. Okay. J1 visa aspirants. If you would like to have this, again, job offer, put it in your mind, I wanted to get a job offer. When I was still working as a teacher in the Philippines, by the way, as a J1 teacher, if you aspire to become a J1 teacher, you need to be teaching in a classroom setting. You don't have to stop, especially if you are teaching in the Department of Education, DepEd. That is a way to go. So always remember, you are aiming to get a job offer. That is your aim. When I did this, I posted the word job offer year 2020, 2019, which I took that one. That means I'm praying, I'm manifesting already. I'm always asking the Lord, I'm going to get a job offer. Now, let me know if you wanted to have this copy and I'm going to send it to you. It's all going to be free. This is my way of sharing my ideas. Again, this is applying in your own risk, but I know there are already J1 teachers who use this and they are successful. So I'm just going to give you the information. There are sponsors, okay? Let's just say you got your resume, you got your cover letter, you have your FCE or evaluated evaluation with your TOR, and you got a job offer already. You had talk with your principal. It is a PI, principal interview. Okay. So you have to think, okay, very important. You have to think of a visa sponsor. Okay. You have to think of a visa sponsor. Let's just say, yay, congratulations, so and so, you have your job offer because you have a good rating with us when it comes to principal interview. Then they're gonna ask for a visa sponsor. Okay. So there are visa sponsors that are zero fees. Zero. You're not gonna pay anything. Not unless there's gonna be like processing fees, and that's gonna be the thing that only be having to pay. EPI. Okay. Um I'm not part of the EPI, but they have teachwithepi.com. Again, teachwithepi.com. That is one of the visa sponsor. But I'm telling you, if you're going to go with the EPI, they're very strict when it comes to the integrity of the visa program, which means if you are on your third year already and they're going to send an email to you saying, which it happens now, you would not submit any of the waiver or get married to a US citizen, or else they're not going to have to extend you for another 2 years. So it's going to be an agreement between EPI, visa sponsor, and the J1 teacher with 212E rule. So the other one is TPG. T as in Tom, P as in Paul, G as in goat. TPGculturalexchange.com. That is another visa sponsor. We also have GTP, G as in go, T as in Tom, P as in Paul. That means globalteachingpartners.com. Find that one as a visa sponsor. You cannot get a visa sponsor not unless you have a job offer. Job offer first, then visa sponsor. FACES, FACES, that's going to be facesinc.org. That's going to be another visa sponsor. GEC, exchanges.com. Let me know. Well, here's the thing. I have a lot of J1 teacher friends. Most of them are tpgculturalexchange.com for their visa sponsor. So it's really up to you which one you like. I also have J1 teacher friends that are EPI. EPI is very good. They even provide laptops, cell phones to those that are under their program because they are really funded by the government, semi or fully funded by the government. That's why they can provide these perks to the J1 teachers that are under their visa program. Now, what are the fees that have visa sponsor? And this is my visa sponsor, but I went through an agency. If I only knew that I can do it myself, I should have done it. That way I don't have to spend, telling you, 750,000 pesos. That is in the year 2019. That's how much I spent. And I even have one teacher friend. I'm not going to mention the name, but she said she spent almost 1 million pesos, that is in the year 2018, to come here in the US. See, that's how much we spent for that specific agency. But again, for us, it's worth it because we're already here in the US, but it's very expensive. In this time and age, if we could just do it all over again, I might really wanted to do it myself, DIY. So, this is the one I had. This is my visa sponsor, which is through my agency. And I paid for this, CICD, or their name now is Intrax. That's where you can find for your J1 visa. This is one of your J1 visa. There's also one which is Spirit. Oh, I forgot to spell the name properly. Spirit Cultural Exchange. This is one of the visa sponsors that has fees. I don't know how much it's gonna be. As far as I can remember, they already had all the amount up. So as a J1 teacher or an H1B teacher, prepare at least $3,000 to $5,000 if you do it yourself. $3,000 equivalent in the Philippines is like 165,000 pesos to how much? 250,000 pesos. It's really up to you. Prepare the amount. If you have lots of debts when it comes to your PLI, private lending institution, you can do over the counter. They're so strict right now. During my time, I could still hide the fact that I'm going to the US, and I borrowed a lot of money just to make sure I could pay my dues when it comes to my agency and visa sponsor and my plane ticket too. So just make sure you have all your um, papers. It's going to be, again, prepare $3,000 to $5,000. Do it yourself. This is not free, okay? You still have to spend money. This is your future in the US. So I know a lot of J1 teachers here. Last year, they asked for my help, and I was able to provide some of them some Filipino houses, and they were able to have room for rent. And it's only what, $500. They even asking $300. No, there's no $300 here for housing or room anymore. The lowest is 400 to 500, especially here in Florida. It's very expensive. So find a good place of housing. There is BIE school, or like tribal school, which is like Native Americans. They provide housing for teachers, but you're gonna be in a sprawled out area where it's going to be like a mountain area most of the time, or um tribal, like there's gonna be Hispanic, there's gonna be like Native Americans, there's gonna be some people with different colors. So those are the people that you're gonna be meeting every day, and it's gonna be like a far-flung area. So think of that space. But if you're gonna be in a BIE school, they will have a chance to give a waiver. If you are really wanting to stay here in the US for good, and if you're not married to a US citizen, or you have a US citizen child that has like a medical condition, let's just say, or the condition in the Philippines is not good, and your only way to go is your BIE school, then ask for that tribal school. Research that way, they might be able to give a waiver, and that is very important. Now, other ways to apply, again, let me know. Message me, Emmary T. Powell. Message me here in POWELLful Couple Journey. Let me know if you wanted to get the copy and I can send it to you. So there are schools in Arizona that I can provide, schools in Florida that I provide, schools in New Mexico that I can provide. Secure a job offer. Again, job offer, that is very important. Secure a job offer and you're gonna be fine. And if you're gonna do it yourself, remember this, okay? Remember this. You need to find a visa sponsor, job offer, and you need to know whether it's an H-1B or a visa, J1 visa. And this is the first thing you have to do, okay? Don't forget, you need to have your FCE or Foreign Credential Evaluation, SPAN-TRAN. That is very important. Or WES. Yeah, go to this. Either one. You don't need to apply in both. You can either apply in SPAN-TRAN or you can either apply in WES. So that is very important. Think of this. Eligibility, the requirements that I mentioned. You can apply directly to school districts. Email the principal. Be nice to them and show them your credentials, because I did that when I transferred from South Florida to here in Central Florida. I emailed directly the principal and she already knew that I'm here in the US, so it's easy for me. But since you're in the US, you really need to show your credibility, okay? Apply through job sites. And by the way, speaking of job sites, here's the thing. I almost got scammed when it comes to going to Canada, because during the time in the year 2019, I process my papers and I'm going back and forth to the internet cafe in the Philippines. This site says, oh, you'll have a chance to go to Canada. All you need to do is to submit this, this, and that, and give us your, what do you call this one? Your card in the bank. And I'm like, I'm so excited because I can go to Canada, you know? And then later I recognize, oh my gosh, this is a scam. So make sure you're not going to be scammed. And whatever I'm showing this to you is really based on experience and based on the collective ideas of other J1 teachers and H1B teachers. That's why I'm sharing this idea to you. And if you would like to know how to send money to the Philippines, use Tap Tap Send. I'm a J1 teacher. I use Tap Tap Send. Remember, our main goal, our main why is to come here in the US, experience living here in the US, and of course, bringing back something to our family in the Philippines. Remember, you already say, I'm gonna quit DepEd or Department of Education. You're gonna be submitting your resignation letter and you're gonna start from the beginning. I used to be a T3, which is a teacher 3, prior to coming here in the US. If I'm gonna go back to the Philippines, I'm gonna go back to 1, which is teacher 1. Not unless you're a principal already. So you can go back in the Philippines and become a principal 1 again. So it's a lot of things that you have to prepare. It's a lot of sacrifices that you have to do. if you want to send money to the Philippines, use taptapsend.com and use my code Emmary, Emmary, and you can have first time you can have the money, and they're gonna give you extra $10 to send to your family in the Philippines. Your dream awaits here. American dream. Okay, job offer. Pray fervently and you'll succeed. God bless on this one, and thank you for those who are watching. If you wanted to know about the process, okay, so think about this. If you wanted to get the process and you are here already as an J1 visa teacher and you have a 212E rule, wanted to become like me, who got the visa, who got the waiver, and now a green card holder, this is the process. You have to prepare yourself and your spouse. Apply for a J1 visa waiver. First, if you are married to your U.S. citizen spouse, apply for Form I-130. And the Form I-130 has nothing to do with a waiver. However, it is your ticket. It's your way for your spouse to petition you, and they were able to process your papers for adjustment of status. File for your I-130 first. If it's going to be online, it's worth $625. And some of the papers will be sent through mail. Make sure you have that. So we're done already with the teaching stuff. This is waiver, okay? Form I-130A is a supplement for the information. This is free. You have to submit this separate packet, but together. You can mail this together with your Form I-130, with the form that is signed with your husband or your spouse. And your payment is either check or money order. I'm telling you, we use money order and it's super easy. You can go rather to Amscot, and you can have them the money order, and you just have to slip that money order in a very safe envelope, put it in your yellow packet, and send it to the Form I-130 instruction that is put there for the mailing address. It depends on the courier that you're going to use, either USPS or FedEx. It's really up to you. There's instruction in the Form I-130 through the uscis.gov. Then file for the Form I-612. It is the waiver for the foreign teacher or foreign non-immigrant. This is worth, and they increased already in April 1, 2024. It's now worth $1,100. This is only the filing fee. That doesn't include the mailing. Mailing is not that much, but remember, you also have to have your evidences. If you wanted to know the evidences that I have, the step-by-step process, go to our website, POWELLfulcouplejourney.com, and have the checklist, at the same time the sworn letter and the statement of reasons, because there's a step-by-step process there and what are the things you have to prepare. And then you have to submit your Form I-485. Now, Form I-485, maybe you will put it aside, not unless you don't want to teach anymore, or you wanted to do something else, or you're already in your 5th year, because you have to be in status while you're processing this paper. So some of the immigration lawyers are saying set aside the Form I-485, do not do it yet. It's really up to you. Make sure to submit though the DS-3035. It's going to be submitted to the Department of State, and it's worth $120 only. It's going to be 2 ways, which is 1, do it online through travel.state.gov, or just Google DS-3035 online application. Then once you have that, they're going to give you the barcode and the processes. You are going to follow step by step. There's a timeline for that, so make sure you have your statement of reason already. If you wanted to get my statement of reason and follow the template, make it on your own words. Just have it like a sample. Go to POWELLfulCoupleJourney.com. That way you can just copy paste. Once you type it in the Word document, you just copy paste because there's like a time limit. And it's only $120. Money order. Use money order. Based on our experience, it's very effective. If you would like to know if you are really subject or not subject to the 212E rule, do an advisor opinion. But if you are certain, because you have a stamp that you are subject to the 212E rule, based on your visa or based on your DS 2019, then you don't have to do advisor opinion. Just go for your DS 3035 and that will be the process. Now, DS 3035 says, especially exceptional hardship waiver will take 4 to 6 months, but believe me, it will take a year. So process your papers already. And if you are compelled to submit your Form I-485 again, that is adjustment of status, it will take 9 to 12 months based on my experience. Plus your waiver. So it's like 2 years. So think of that. Think of that. If you have your Form I-485 you wanted to submit, it's now $1,440. I believe this is included with your biometrics. You need your biometrics for your Form I-765, which is the work permit. You can only submit your Form I-485 if you are married to your U.S. citizen spouse. If you only have a U.S. citizen child, you cannot submit a Form I-485. That's why we are so blessed, and you should be so thankful to your American spouse because with them, you will get opportunities. You will get abundance of things that you can do, not just teaching, okay? So I-485 and the Form I-765 is the work permit. It is good for 2 years. I'm not sure if they extend it for 5 years. That way you could process and you can work while processing your other papers. And that's the purpose why they gave the work permit. And the work permit is $520. Add additional filing fee on, biometrics, which is $85. So most probably it's between $520 to $605. And once you submit your Form I-765, they're gonna invite you for a biometrics. You're gonna go to a USCIS office, and they're gonna have your biometrics there. And after I think 3 weeks, they're gonna give you your card. See? And you don't know, it's gonna be a combo card or standalone card. What is a combo card? If you apply for I-485 with your I-765 work permit and your travel document, and you got approved. Travel document is Form I-131. It's worth $630 now. It's expensive. If you don't want to use this, don't. Then you can only get a standalone card. But if you filed for Form I-130 and your Form 765, it's going to be together. That's why it's called combo card. And it's just one card. Okay? One card, authorization card. So those are the expenses you have. Then, when it comes to their medical, because you're going to spend a medical, it's your Form I-693. If you're going to submit for your adjustment of status, it's going to be in between $200 to $500 with your medical exam. The form is free, but it depends on your physician how much you're going to be costing you, because there's going to be like different medical examinations that you're going to take, and the processes that you're going to have. Most of the time, you'll get your examination results in 2 weeks. It happened to me before. So I prepared the amount, and I was able to submit it. And that's one of the forms I submitted in support of my Form I-485. So let's do a recap and how much we're going to be spending if you do it yourself, submitting your J1 waiver, and getting your green card. Okay? Okay. Get your paper and notes. Forms to submit to USCIS and how much? Form I-130 submitted online. Processing fee, $625. Form I-130A is free. Form I-612 is $1,100. Form I-485 is $1,440. Form I-765, paper filing. I use paper filing, and you should, because you can put some information there and evidences. $520 plus biometrics, $85, so it's a $605. Form I-131 is $630. Form I-864 is financial support. This is included in your Form I-130, I believe, or Form I-485. This is free, so you don't have to worry. It's only your husband's pay stubs and tax return for 3 years, 2 to 3 years. Form I-693, prepare $500 at least, depending on which state you are and the physician. Department of State, submit DS-235, $120. If you will submit your advisory opinion, it's free. Now, forms alone. Again, remember, forms alone. You're going to be spending $5,020. Do it yourself. That's how much it is. During my time, I only spent $3,790 in the year 2021. Now, $5,020. That's why some of the lawyers are already asking $8,000. That's including the filing fee. So think of that. They're already, with their attorney's fee is $3,000 already, plus the $5,020. So that right there, it really depends on you. If you wanted to have your immigration lawyer, go ahead, because it's your choice. But if you have a will and you feel like you have strong evidences, and you're just like me and my husband William, where we got married single prior to getting married, no strings attached, no kids yet, so everything will be okay. Follow POWELLful Look at our papers. I'm gonna do soon a bundle, that way I can provide you information from step 1 to step 6. That way it's going to be intact. And if you wanted to ask questions, go ahead, message me, Emmary Powell, and let me know if you wanted to get copies when it comes to teachers filing, or you have friends that you wanted to get a copy. I'm going to be sharing this to you. But some of the templates, POWELLful, we are really having some funds there. That way we could send it to our mountain pastors that we're supporting in the Philippines. And this is our way to really share the word of God and give something to our mountain pastors, because it's so hard to work if you don't have funds in the Philippines. So please support our website, POWELLful, where we lend as well a hand to our mountain pastors in the Philippines. Again, this is going to be 2-part series. We are doing how to become a teacher here in the US through H1B or J1 visa program. And if you wanted to have your waiver, then this is also the step-by-step process. Watch most of the videos I have here. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. That way we can spread the word that there's one Filipina from the Philippines who is willing to share ideas on how I did it DIY, and you can get some information, because during my time when I was watching the video in YouTube, there's nobody sharing the information, and I'm like so blinded. What am I supposed to do? So thank God that we have a social media account. You can follow me TikTok, Emmary Powell, with my Facebook, Emmary Powell, and our business page, William and Emmary Powell. And this is our way of sharing ideas to our fellow J1 teachers that are aspiring to get their J1 waiver, to get their green card, and soon a U.S. citizen after 3 years. Thank you so much for being here. Please do watch most of the videos that we have here and see you on my next video. God bless.